Good morning, AYS Nation. What is happening? What is going on? It's a good morning, a beautiful morning in the neighborhood, as Mr. Rogers would say. A beautiful morning. But we are live. Episode 300. Episode 300. Been a long time coming. Hey, are you coming to tell me congratulations? We're live, buddy. We are live. Tell them, hey, did you sleep good? Did you sleep good? Did you sleep good? All right, everybody that's wondering, this is my son, Benjamin. Hey, we got a big show in store today. We got a really big show in store to this morning. Listen, we got a Ruffino's Rants coming. Okay, the NCAA continues to not give us guidance on this Will Wade stuff, right? Say yes if you're with me. Also, LSU has our first scrimmage today. Daddy's going to be making his way out there in Baton Rouge probably this weekend, if you know what I mean. But maybe not to the scrimmage. We'll see. We'll talk about some things that we need to see. Ed Orgeron, Coach O. Oh, that dog. He is going to make a press conference later on today, Benjamin. Who are some players we need to watch out for? Ask Blake in episode 300. Are we cool? Say hey. You cool with that? Mwah. You want down? Okay. Thank you. I love you. Bye-bye. That is my son, Benjamin, doing the thing. But yeah, we do got a good show in store for you today. I might get a little we got to talk about this Will Wade thing and the NCAA being completely trash. The NCAA is completely trash. But let's do this. I'm going to get to all the comments. If it's your first time joining AYS on a Saturday morning show, do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to your Facebook, social media, share to your private page, share to some Facebook groups, as there's everybody's always interactive there and always has good stuff. And, you know, Real Tiger Nation or Real LSU Nation, Talking Tigers, all of them, share them in there. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Guys, 90% of you that watch the show are not subscribed yet. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you're on Twitter, follow us there. Hit that retweet as well. What is this? Tractor. Here. Go bring your tractor. Bye. So do us a favor and let's do this. Let's pay some bills around this thing and then we will get started. None better than our good friends over at betonline.ag. Guys, I've been telling you for so long now, over the last 3 months, you got to head over to betonline.ag. Now that mobile betting in the state of Louisiana has passed, you need to get over there. The #1 betting service in the nation right now, betonline.ag. They're doing so many things. They're giving you 50% off on your first welcome bonus, giving you the most money back on your deposit after you win. Go over to betonline.ag today. Do the podcast AYS show when you make that first deposit so they know that your good friend, Mr. Blake Ruffino, sent you on buying this. betonline.ag. betonline.ag. All right, let's get this thing rolling. Let's get to all these comments. Don't forget to hit the like and share. Danny, what's up, Danny? Danny Broussard says, let's go. Kenny says, let's go. Robert Playson says, good morning. Good morning, sir. Steve Bean says, wake up and let's go. That we were going to do. Thank God we woke up. I need, you know, which is interesting. You said that, Steve. I gotta say this. I hope that all you guys, and I don't mean this in a political statement or anything like that, but everybody that is a prayer warrior and everything. I have a good friend of mine that's in the hospital right now. I'm not going to disclose why, but I think everybody probably could have an understanding. He's not doing too well, so just keep him in your prayers, and I greatly appreciate it. So, you guys, we take so much for granted sometimes. Tasha the Tiger Thibodeau, what's up, Tasha? On YouTube says, good morning. Good morning, man. Good morning. Mace Inspection says, good morning. Eric Hammond says, working this morning. Let's go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Stephen Miller says, happy 300, bro. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mark says, congrats on number 300, Blake. Thank you. Thank you. Philip Rose says, hey, Blake, will you be at the scrimmage today? No, I'm going to be doing some other things today. Won't be out there today. Will not be out there today. Here are some things that I want to hear from Ed Orgeron, though. I want to hear from Ed Orgeron that the defense started off fast, and then I want to hear that the offense then picked it up late. Look, we've seen film already. I mean, it's been very well chronicalized at this point now. Look, these young running backs, there's a reason why Ed Orgeron has said consistently that if Ty Davis-Price and John Emery don't step up, they're going to get their spots taken. Did you see Amari Goodwin yesterday in the clip-ups? Did you see Todd Harris go up against Corey Connor, a fifth-year senior going up against a freshman and getting put in an absolute blender by Corey Connor? Guys, again, I don't know how many times I have to say this, but when Ed Orgeron tells you something, you have to believe him. He told you, what was it, Thursday? The reason we were late on Thursday, he told you, I think one of the biggest takeaways from that, he said, hey, Corey Connor is hard to tackle, and he's an absolute beast with the pads on. Then you see film of Todd Harris trying to make a tackle and just honestly getting Derrick Henry stiff-armed to the ground. Ty Davis-Price and John Emery better step it up because there's two young freshman running backs that are coming for that ass. I thought the defense looked good when they went into practice Thursday. Michael Baskerville looked good from what I hear. He did have the interception. You know who's coming into his own is Jeray Jenkins too. So I want to hear. I hope somebody asks, and hopefully Ed will talk about Jeray Jenkins too. King Mo says 300. Yes, sir. Jared says, good morning, bro. Tony Weaver, my man, says, congrats on show 300, boss man Blake. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Uh-oh. Here he is. The man himself, Mike Scarborough, says, good morning. Uh-oh, Mike. We're on episode 300, dog. What you up to? Juice says, what's up, Big Ben? Big Ben? Watching it. I'm going to say his name. He's going to walk in here. Unless he's eating breakfast. PCG on Twitter says, sweet little guy. That he is. He's a handful. Stephen Miller says, what's good, Big? What's good, Bedhead Ben? Let's go. Yeah, he got that bedhead now. Nookie says, King Leonidas Ruffino and the mighty 300. Yep. A couple more, and then I'm going to get to kind of the show. C. Kings from Talking Tigers Facebook group says 12 p.m. scrimmage. Let's come out healthy. You know, that's a big thing, and I think C's right there. You got to come out healthy. You have to come out healthy today. No, look, and if somebody's nicked up, don't put them in harm's way. Do not put them in harm's way. Don't do it. Don't do it. You know, I have a feeling you're going to hear Ty Davis-Price didn't go today. I have a feeling you're going to hear John Emery got most of the reps with the ones, and Amari and Connor got in there. I think you're going to hear that Brian Thomas stepped up. You're not going to hear anything about Derek Stingley. You're not going to hear anything. You know, I want to see how the safeties do and the linebackers. Look, I'm going to say this too, and I talked about the running backs just a second ago. Guys, in the clip up, when you got running backs out in space, it means the O-line's dominating. Listen to me now. Everybody is talking about the defensive line is the best unit on the team. And I'm sitting here telling everybody that I can agree with that from a depth and talent perspective. But guys, when you continue to see clips, when you continue to see things that LSU provides you, when we go out to games, scrimmages, whatever, and I'm sitting here telling you guys, the offensive line is very physical. What else do you want? Guys, you can't make breakaway runs when the O-line is shit. You can't. I'm hearing that Cam White, there's some rumblings that quite honestly that more people are surprised and excited about Cam Wire now at left tackle than anything. Look, I'm hearing Cam Wire's holding his own. So when you have running backs going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs during a practice, we'll see. The last time we saw this defensive line and this defense, they gave up 307 yards on the ground to Ole Miss. Don't always assume that it's just going to get better. Now, I want to hear them that they went tick and tack. Danny Broussard says, congrats on 300, Blake. Thank you, sir. Ethan says, episode 300 and only 21 days until game day. That's true. Mace on Periscope Twitter says he said he need to wake up first. Ha ha ha. Talking about Ben? Yeah. He literally just woke up. And my wife didn't believe that I was on the show. She didn't believe me yet. Kenny says NCAA national communist against athletes. Let's talk about this before, and we'll talk about some football. Let me get to this very quickly. Neil Farrell Sr., good morning, sir. Congratulations is in order for you and your son, Neil Farrell Jr. Congratulations on his graduation. Very exciting. Very exciting. Congratulations, my friend. Congratulations is in order. So Kenny talks about the NCAA. We do need to talk about this because it does tie into football. And I know that people are tired of this Will Wade stuff. But then yesterday, the Advocate, Wilson Alexander of the Advocate, comes out with that the NCAA, basically nothing new. Basically nothing new. And states yesterday brings up, can I tell you something and I'm not saying this is because of me, but this past week I had a rant. If you watch the show religiously, I had a rant about the NCAA making a statement for Will Wade and LSU football and everything. And it was around the time when Baylor this week finally got their notice of what's going to go on for their football violations, which is not going to be anything after the fact. Now that it's been almost 10 years now. I kind of had a little rant about making public, not public an investigation, but making it known what's going on in this investigation. Guys, when does the statute of limitations run out on Will Wade? When does the statute of limitations? Guys, Javonte Smart, a player that mostly is in question here, got cleared from the NCAA, played another 2 full seasons, and now is in the NBA, and we still do not have a decision not only on LSU basketball, but on LSU football. LSU self-imposed penalties, not going to a bowl game, reducing scholarships. I mean, there are things that LSU's done. At what point, when the NCAA has to go to the Supreme Court and told that they are the most, I'm quoting, and I'm going to paraphrase some, so I'll paraphrase it that way because this is basically what they're saying. The Supreme Court and the justices are telling the NCAA, you are the most communist organization on the planet Earth, or at least in the United States, where you're legitimately having free labor and the schools have to pay for tuition, and then you can enforce what you want to enforce on. And yet we don't have a decision about LSU football. We don't have a decision about Will Wade. At what point is this, everybody talks about LSU skating. When you search in an investigation this long, what the hell are you looking for? There's a reason James Craig was fired when he was fired. Understand what I'm trying to tell you. When Will Wade brought the NCAA on campus, it opened up a whole nother can of worms that LSU didn't need. When you have the 2 investigations, LSU can be investigated for institutional lack of control, and then that's certainly not what you need. But the NCAA comes out and says, we can't find anything. We can't find money that Will Wade gave Javonte Smart, but we're going to give it to another organization because we know there's some out there, but we're too big of idiots to figure out where it is. There comes a point where if you're the enforcement, why do you have to give it over to another organization when you can't do your job correctly? The other firm that they're using to investigate LSU for LSU basketball, they're not the ones that's going to be coming down with the enforcement. Do you know who comes down with the enforcement? The NCAA. And now you're going to hit LSU for paying a player hypothetically after name, image, and likeness got passed and you got called communists? Greg Sankey, for what people hate him for, my buddy that I asked you guys to pray for just is texting us. He says he's doing a little bit better this morning, being in the hospital. So sorry for that. But regardless, the NCAA in its entirety has pretty much been put on the back burner, and Greg Sankey is pretty much running the college athletics right now. People do what he says. Mark Emmert, former president of LSU, has absolutely nothing, has no sustaining power here. Mike Scarborough at TigerBait.com says Scrimmage is at 4 today, was originally set for noon, so that means we'll get CEO around 7 or so. When Mike says CEO, he's talking about Ed Orgeron. And probably a little bit later than 7. I mean, Ed is historically late. I'm not going to say anything negative. Neil Farrell, congratulations again, my brother. Juice Washington says, hashtag Ask Blake, should Garrett get most of the snaps during the scrimmage? No. So we have a solid backup. We can't look at him as a freshman anymore. No, I think that you give him a couple of series. I think Max has got to get ready to go. Max has to be ready to go. You can't – you're going to have to give Max a majority of the reps right now. Now, you're going to need to get him in there, but you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to give him majority of the reps. That way that, you got live action. You got live action ready to go here. Steve Bean says, congratulations on 300. We appreciate your hard work. Thanks, man. Look, I got to say, man, all this that you see, the headset, the desktop, the service, the streaming, and all this kind of stuff, like nobody gave this to me. Like I didn't I didn't have a GoFundMe. Hey, do you want AYS to do videos? I mean, it took a lot of hard work, and there's a lot of people that were in my corner. My wife, my loving wife, has been in my corner from the beginning, giving me the leeway to do something that I've dreamed about doing my entire life. And so, number one, I got to thank my wife on that, but then I got to thank all of you. Without you, this means nothing. Without the 200 people in here, this means nothing. This doesn't mean anything. I mean, you are the reason that I come back here and we get to talk about it. And look, this is my dream. You want to listen. We want to have fun. And I appreciate you guys for always being there for me. Daniel Glenn says, I've begun trying to explain the optimistic UCLA fans online about the amount of hurt LSU is about to bring out west. After 5-5, examples early in the season must be made. Yeah, and look, you got to give a revenge tour to Mississippi State. There's a lot of revenge tours that you got to that you have to do. Now, I'm gonna say this, and this is going to be around the SEC. This is not LSU affiliated. I did put in there some LSU recruiting updates. Guys, I'm hearing some things about Shaz Preston, the wide receiver out of St. James. I'm hearing some things about I'm hearing some interesting things coming out of Alabama over the last couple of the days. Who said – I'm going to leave this here. Who said that Bryce Anderson was going to be the starter? Or Bryce Young, excuse me. What did I say, Bryce Anderson? Who said Bryce Young was going to be the starter? Okay. I think I do hear that Alabama is trying to get a foothold at least in a recruit in Louisiana. But let me tell you this right now. Everybody talks negatively about Ed in recruiting. Understand this. Saban's not winning those battles currently right now. Do you think that Nick Saban doesn't want Quincy Wiggins? Hey, I don't want Quincy Wiggins. Let him go to LSU. Stupid. Brian Viator says, happy number 300, Blake. What was the date of show number 1? Been listening and watching for about 6 months now. Go Tigers. I think it was, so, we had the old Facebook page and then we had to start the new one. I think it was around April when we picked it back up. Yeah. My mom, went through the stuff that she went through. And then, so I think it was around April of last year that the videos started. I'm pretty sure it was April. So we had and here's another thing. I was doing shows before some things happened. So really this isn't episode 300. Really this is like episode 4 something. But when I took that much time off and then came back, I was like, I can't do that. I can't just pick up where I left off. So April of last year is when I started recounting. Henry says, congrats to you and your family on the graduation. Oh yeah, talking about Mr. the Farrells. Holden says, congratulations, probably love to see it. Kenny says, I've liked Corey Connor since he signed with LSU, and I saw C. King said this. Corey Connor, that stiff arm needs to be registered. It does. I have gotten pushback and ridicule about my take on Todd Harris. But guys, what are you guys not seeing? Meaning, what other film and footage do you need to see that says that he's struggling right now? I still think that he's a really good I still think he's a really smart player. But Todd's going to have to – you can't let that happen. Not against a freshman. Shit, not against anybody. You can't let that happen. But he's not the only person. Let me say this. He's not the only person that Corey Connor put in a blender this past Thursday. He's not the only person that it happened to. So, again, Ty Davis-Price and John Emery, Ed said it all off season. You better get your ass ready to go. And let's now it's starting to come to fruition. Name something Ed's told you that's happened on the field. I mean, you could say, well, the Jabril Cox thing. Jabril Cox was still a high-round pick. Jabril Cox still had the best completion percentage against when defending against anybody last season as a linebacker in the SEC. What has Ed not told you that doesn't have some volition? Or pretty much all volition. If he tells you it's what's happening. Blaine on Facebook Live says, we need closure on this Will Wade stuff. What a joke the NCAA is. Not only do we need closure, we need an explanation. I think LSU did. See, this is what happened. LSU asked, if you're not familiar, LSU did ask for the NCAA to close and or separate the incidents from LSU football to LSU basketball. They said no. LSU has asked religiously, tell us why, and they don't respond, but yet they got the little nerds walking on campus, the little nerds that walk on LSU campus investigating. Did you give money to a player? Close the damn case if you don't have anything. Move on, you freaking Rudy Poos. NCAA is basically called the communist nation of NC2A. You got old oatmeal raisin eating, pudding pop eating, Depends wearing Dick Vitale out there saying LSU cheated. Show me, Dick. So sick of his bullshit, man. Jared Smith says, can't wait to plan my game day meals and drink in a couple of weeks. Football all day long. Yeah, I know. Guys, I mean, golly, I'm so ready too. And let me say this to you guys. We're working on some things. I know that we will be doing the post-game show. We have been offered to do a pre-game show. Guys, but I will tell you, it's a lot on me now. If we were doing this full time, which is still the goal, that would be one thing. We'll see on the pregame show, but man, it's a lot. It's a lot. Stephen Miller says, "Yo, I fell down a wormhole last night, and UCLA fans actually want to take LSU off the schedule and replace them with San Jose State due to COVID outbreak in Louisiana." But nobody on LSU's team's got COVID, though. What's the problem with that? And they're going to get tested. Stupid. Mark Allen says, "I don't want to hear from Stingley. I do not want to hear from Stingley. That dude is on go 24/7. You're not going to hear from Stingley. You're not going to hear from Stingley." Henry said, "Did they say something else?" No, but I made the comment, and then all of a sudden I made a comment about Will Wade, and then all of a sudden the Advocate's reporting on it. Like I made a big deal about it this week, and then now they're reporting on it. I mean, there's some things that I heard around, and then I made a comment, allude to it, and then brought it up because of the Baylor stuff. Guys, look how long. Do you remember when the Baylor football stuff went down? They're just making a freaking decision. Think about that. What, Mark Emmert is stupid, bro. He's stupid. Lonnie Young says 21 days till burning Bruin smackdown. Layeth the smack it down on that candy behind. C. King says Brad Davis is giving that offensive line life. Not only is my guy Brad Davis giving him life, but I think he's giving him I think he's just he's maybe a better teacher. And look, it's difficult to come from and I'm not saying James wasn't good, meaning James Craig. I'm not saying he wasn't good, but Brad Davis has been in college for a long time. And we do have footage of Austin Deculus going up against Ali Gay, going up against Jaquelin Roy, and not losing, like dominations. Okay. at what I've said this entire offseason, and God bless us, if the offensive line struggles during the season, I know that I will take the hit on that. But show me the film and people not saying right now that the O-line is starting to get more physical when I tell you this whole entire offseason that they're going to get bigger, they're going to get trimmed down, bigger physically, like strong. They're going to slim down. They're going to be better. They're going to do better things. They're going to be physical on the point of attack. Then you got Ed Orgeron saying, guys, I really think the offensive line is the most physical that I've seen them. What more do you need me to tell you? I've been saying it all freaking offseason. Is your coach lying to you? Be careful. Be careful. Just understand in the back of your mind that this defense that we saw last season, we talk about the secondary. The secondary had 5 interceptions the last time we saw them against Ole Miss. They had 2 more interceptions and 2 more or another in a fumble recovery. It was forced from the D-line, but 2 more interceptions on contrast the week before. What else do you want? Actually, 6 against Ole Miss. What else do you want? I mean, how do you get 5 interceptions against Ole Miss and still give up 307 yards on the ground? It's not the linebacker's fault completely. It's not the DB's fault. And then now in camp, you're hearing, and not only are you hearing, you're seeing running backs break loose. Leave it there. Jordan Simpson said, "Good morning, love from Big Bird. Go Tigers, proud season ticket holder." Gary Donovan says, "Did you see where the Pac-12, ACC, and Big Ten are talking about joining forces against the SEC?" I did see that. They call it the Alliance. I thought Peter Burns said something funny. Peter Burns said, SEC versus the Alliance. It's like I'm watching a Marvel movie. That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. I like that. It's pretty funny. Kenny says Bama got mossed again yesterday. L. Moss decommitted from the Gumps. Yep. But Nick is out recruiting Ed, right? In the state, I mean. Jeffrey says, hashtag on YouTube says, hashtag ask Blake, are we in line for Le'Veon Moss now that he's decommitted from Bama? Absolutely. Absolutely. 100% you're in line for Le'Veon Moss. I will say this, and it's been a little chronicalized. I do think that Le'Veon has had some, I don't know how to say. I just think that, if Le'Veon comes to LSU, he's going to need a lot of support from people. And sometimes kids just need to get away. And I'm going to root for that kid no matter what. And I hope he comes to LSU, but I'm going to root for that kid no matter what. Blaine on Facebook Live says, hashtag ask Blake, what's your prediction on what the penalties will be when the NCAA finally comes down on us? I don't know what the NCAA – see, here's my thing. I don't know what the NCAA can do. The NCAA doesn't have power for Title IX. They've already made somewhat of a decision on football, but they don't want to separate the two yet because they want to make sure if they don't separate it that they can hit LSU with institutional lack of control. Guys, at what point in 3 years do you need to find where there's 13 players in question, allegedly 13 players in question from Will Wade? What do you need? You can't file for a subpoena for bank statements because it's not illegal to give somebody money. Do you want to know why it's illegal? Why it's difficult for the NCAA to figure out what's going on with Will Wade? It's because they don't have freaking subpoena power. Especially after going to the Supreme Court and getting railroaded all across, spanked like a little 3-year-old that just did something bad. Bad baby. What you gonna do? And if you gonna pop LSU for giving somebody money, if you're gonna pop LSU for giving somebody money when name, image, and likeness got passed, and it's not illegal to give somebody cash, it's not illegal. This is what I think needs to happen, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this. Football, basketball, baseball, and then maybe you can make a one for all the other sports. I do think that you need a commissioner. Okay? People are going to railroad me on that. I understand it. I get it. But let the SEC and all the other Power 5 conferences currently pay this man. Let him pay them. He gets paid, so college football is running smoothly. Guys, you can hate the NFL all you want. You can trash the NFL. You can hate it. You can call it stupid. There's a reason they're number one right now in our nation. It's because they have a strong leader up top in Roger Goodell, although I think that he smells like cottage cheese. I think that he's a hobo. I think that he's a loser at times for stuff that he does to the Saints. He is effective. He's an effective CEO. An effective CEO. Hate him, love him, do whatever. But there's a reason that they're number one. Edwin says, really enjoy what you do. Thanks, bud. Juice Washington said UCLA quarterback missed the first couple of practices. Is that something to monitor? No. If he's back, no, not really. I think DTR will be fine. But I'll make some calls on that. Holden Lee says, hashtag Ask Blake. I've been on the UCLA fan page, and I've seen their defense has been getting torched. That they are. We talked about that this week, and that's been without their quarterback. he's been sidelined with an injury. So I really think we about to put up a lot. We can. I told you, and not only are they getting torched on the, and I said this in my piece on Twitter, not only are they getting torched, and even watching film from guys, Kenny Slovis from USC absolutely railroaded UCLA. So they're coached really well. I knew that was about to happen. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. My stupid camera. Episode 300. Yeah, we'll see. Richard Bickham hits us with the laughing emojis. Richard, what you laughing at? Anthony Mitchell says, quick question. Will any of the running backs emerge like a bull in a china shop? I don't know. You better if you're John, today's a big day for John Emery. Today is the biggest day in John Emery's tenure. Listen to me. Blake says it's fall camp, it's a scrimmage. Today is the biggest day in John Emery's career at LSU. TDP's out, and you got two young bulls. You know what should be happening is you have Ty Davis Price and John Emery as the old bulls. You ever heard the story of the bull, the older bull and the young bull, both sitting up on the hilltop? Y'all know that story? They should be those old bulls doing that. They're not right now. Josh Greer says, seems like the NCAA is trying to slander our name. Well, they're doing more than that. Todd, Mark Lake, what's up, my friend? Mark's a good friend. He says Todd has never been the same since the injury, and from there it looked like he lost confidence. I can see that. I can see that. Kevin Aber says, been listening to you for over a month now. Love your perspective on LSU, whether good or bad. Thanks, my friend. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's interesting to see how when everybody comes in, starts listening to the show. It's interesting, and man, it's crazy. You know, like I saw somebody in Baton Rouge this week, and they're like, "Hey, Blake," and I turned around, had no clue who it was. Go to lunch. Someone says, "Hey, Blake." I turn around, and they're like, "What's up, man?" And I'm like, "What's up, bud?" You know, like, what's happening? And they're like, you know, they introduce themselves, and so I'm like, "Hey, yeah." And I mean, it's crazy to me because I just feel like, you know, "Hey, Blake. Hey." Hey. Daniel Glenn says, Craig made the O-line cerebral. Davis will make them straight killers. I think that's a good way to characterize it. King Mo says it's $1.99 on YouTube. Thanks, my friend. He says, who will be the starting 5 wide receivers in your opinion? Whew. I'll tell you what I think where I think that they are right now. Let me write this down because it's easier for me. I think you got number 1, Keyshawn, son of a bitch. Keyshawn Boutte. I think at 2 you got Jeray Jenkins. I guess I'm about to break some news with number 3. Number 3, I think Devontae Lee. Hey, it's interesting. Hey, look how much Devontae Lee is in that cut up of LSU this week. I mean, look. Then we go out to practice, and then they were going through drills, and he's 3rd. Then I start seeing him catching touchdown passes from Max Johnson with the ones in the slot. Then I think you got number 4. I'm gonna break that. I'm gonna put these 2 people here. I think you got Trey Palmer, Coy Moore. I think that they're going to fight. They're going to continue to fight that out. And number 5, I think you got Brian Thomas. I think Brian Thomas has emerged himself as the best wide receiver so far right now out of the freshmen. Just from the simple aspect that he's beating the number 1s. So that's where I think it is right now. So we'll see. And look, we got a long way to go. We got a long way to go in this camp. Look, 23 weeks is a long time. A long time. When you're talking about football time, it's a long time. C. Bean says, great play by O-line will do wonders for Max. He will show out. Well, guys, I mean, he showed. So here's my thought process on this. Didn't he show out in the last 2 games last year? Robert Pleasant said Connor and Godwin about to show out in the scrimmage day. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Let's get to a couple more of these, and then we'll get on out of here. Steven says, is there any way to watch the scrimmage online somewhere today? No. Jared Smith says, no, they would never put that film. Yeah, right. No, that not only would they not put that film out there for UCLA, they wouldn't put that film out there for anybody. Mark Lakes, yeah, everybody's just saying no. Everybody's just saying no. Jason says, I agree. Emory needs to step up. Today is big. I think today for John Emory is the biggest day in the career, in his LSU career. I think that with a strong performance today and what you can continue to do would put a stamp on that you can be the guy, that you can and should and will and have the ability to be the guy. Today's huge, man. Here's my argument in reference to Ty Davis Price and John Emory. When you have 2 young bulls doing it, don't give me the bullshit about the O-line. Everybody that makes the excuse, it is the most lazy excuse in the country. In the country. Oh, well, the O-line's playing like shit. That is the biggest line. That is the most easiest take of all time when non-educated football individuals look at football. It is. So explain to me how Corey Connor and Maury Goodwin are doing it. Mark says it's not crime in general. It's crime and murder that happened in the circle already, from my understanding. What? What? Mark, what am I missing? Who murdered who? Did Stephon kill Hillary on Days of Our Lives and I missed it? Mark says no. Very, very few are allowed to watch. I don't believe media is even allowed. No, they're not. Only former players. So nobody's allowed to film except LSU themselves. And sometimes LSU doesn't even film some things. C. King says Moffitt was on the radio and was asked which Tigers he would pick for a 4x10 relay team. Okay, let's look at this. He said he replied, Keyshawn Boutte, Trey Palmer, Stingley, and Emory. Damn. Big day for John Emory. Jason, I agree. Or we saw that one. Mark says wide receiver is the most intriguing position to me because Boutte is obviously 1 and Jeray Jenkins will start at 2. From there, it's wide open. I think you're right there. Well, I don't even think you're right. I mean, we know that it's right. And look, go look at the film. Devontae Lee's making plays, man. Everybody's asking about Devontae Lee. Guys, Devontae Lee's making plays. He's making plays. It's awesome to see Devontae Lee making plays. That kid stayed humbled and just continued to work. Continue to work. Lamar Williams says Emory is supposed to be a superstar, not just another guy. Well, right now he's playing like just another guy. He's got all the ability in the world, though. That's what the sad thing about that is. All right, last one, and then last couple we'll get out of here. Steven says, Blake, have you ever ate at Ruffino's? Come on, bro. I mean, he said, have you ever ate Ruffino's, and is there any connection? No, the late Ruffin Rodrigue bought that out from the Ruffino's a long, long time ago. Let's see. I'm trying to find some more that I missed. Dalton Harris says, oh, yeah, jambalaya week 1, no doubt. I could go for some jambalaya right now. You know what I might do tonight, guys? What I'm craving, like big time? You know what time? People that watch my show religiously know what I'm about to say. Big Daddy is going to get him some wings. I want me some wings. I want some damn wings. Give me lemon pepper. give me, I don't care what they are. I don't give a Rudy poo. Give me some chicken wings, flats, not drums. Drum wings are the armpit of America when it comes to food. Don't give me drums. And listen, to people who give me drums instead of flats when I get wings, they should go to prison. They should go to Angola. They should go to Guantanamo Bay. Don't give me no damn drum. If I wanted drums, I would watch Drumline and go watch Nick Cannon. Don't give me no damn drums. Shoot. I'm craving me some wings, y'all. Dennis on Facebook says, "What's your opinion on our linebacking core?" My opinion is in a lot of hold on one second, Dennis. Excuse me for just a second. Get out of here with that. Don't you ever say something like that. You're wrong. This is the worst opinion ever. Let's get to this. Dennis asked about the linebacking core. You got a lot of talent who's going to step up. Best player's going to play. Micah Baskerville already had a pick six on Max. So Lamar says go to Valley Wings. Lamar, DM me. Where's Valley Wings at? Where's Valley Wings? Somebody hit me up. Where's Valley Wings? Because I'm out you. Jared Billiot says, I hope Todd Harris gets that Rocky 3 back in the eye of the tiger. Also says flats are better than drums. It's not even a debate. It's not even a debate. See, look at this. See, Holo's trying to just piss me off. And yes, the Saints do play tonight. All right. Daytona wings from Hooters, man. I don't like Hooters wings, man. I shouldn't say it. They're good. Hooters, pay you, boy. I love Hooters wings. All right, let's get out of here. All right, guys. Update tonight. Big news coming for AYS soon. Big news coming for AYS soon. Looking forward to that. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Episode 300. Y'all have a good day. Peace.